Ecdycis. I'll just be quick with everything here. This is Dead Rising, and I'll go over what exactly Timeskip is in a moment. We're not going to start the timer yet, but we will be starting in a moment. So you have a little intro here, and the timer doesn't officially start until I skip the camera portion here. Whenever we're ready, I'll count it down. So, alright, let's go 3, 2, 1, and go. Anyway, guys, this is Dead Rising Timeskip new game as a speedrun. Now, before we begin, I kind of want to just go on what Timeskip means as a category. So, normally Dead Rising is about a 5 to 6 hour auto-scroller depending on how you play it. In most cases, it will take a very, very long time. However, Timeskip is a mod that is going to allow me to skip in between all the cases, and it makes the run more akin to about 40 minutes. And it actually makes the game into a normal speedrun because there's virtually zero downtime and we're always going to be doing something. Anyway, to begin really quick, we have to escape the zombies in a mall in a moment here, but I'm going to be hopping for about the first minute or two of the game. I have to hop because it's the fastest way of going around. Normally, your options are either walk, or we'll have another option later, but for right now, I just want to hop around like a madman. And this is because I get a little bit of a boost in the beginning and a boost at the end. I'm also going to kind of... Oh, that's not good. I also want to watch where I'm going. And I want to get a certain item from a guy over here. There it is. I got the item. And now I am out. That was actually not as bad as I thought. That's probably like, what, about a 106? That was pretty good. And now I got the shotgun and we're ready. And I do believe that we have an incentive. Last I checked, it was going to be the Servbot helmet. Can I get a confirmation that this is still correct from any of the official stream mods? Because I need to change into the costumes ASAP if I can. We will be hitting that. Anyway, we will be going to the first case, and this game is divided into cases. In total, there's going to be 8 cases, but they all have sub-cases as well. And we'll learn this very quick. Case 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4 are going to be the first few, and we're going to have a few boss fights pretty early on. Anyway, I'm going to assume, because last I checked the Servbot helmet was winning, I'm just going to go put the Servbot helmet on before I do anything else. Because I feel like that is probably the correct move to do. I can always take it off if it is not. Anyway, there's a Servbot helmet, the $1 donation. And there's your incentive. We'll be wearing the Servbot helmet for the entirety of the game. Now, we're going to have to gather a few supplies while we go, and we're going to be gathering a skateboard. Now, I want you all to understand as well, I know what you're thinking. Dead Rising is a zombie game, and there are normally going to be zombies, and it should be spooky, right? Dead Rising is much closer to Tony Hawk than it is Resident Evil, for example. We're going to be skateboarding through most of this game, as you'll see very soon. Let's go through here. And I need to gather a skateboard and a book. And these are going to immensely help me throughout the run, because before I had to jump through everything, now I can just skateboard through the rest of this. And we are going to be making our way towards the first boss of the game, and it is going to be a bit of an interesting fight. Normally, the game's a bit tougher, and you have a lot more time to explore and level up, but since this is going to be a speedrun, I'm going as quickly as possible, so I'm not going to have time to level up and get certain upgrades. We'll find out what upgrade we get after the boss fight, but the boss fight itself isn't too hard. Also, for the entirety of the game, we're going to see this giant yellow Lego head, also known as the Servbot helmet, mainly because it was the incentive. There's also a Haunting Ground incentive, but I don't think that has anything, so... Anyway, here's the first boss fight, and I'm going to get that, get this, and I'm just going to keep firing shots at Carlito. So ideally this should work. 1. Come on. Alright, he's running away. He's probably going to go over here. I'm going to have to skateboard over. This wasn't the best cycle I could have gotten. Carlito has a few actions he could do. This is what we ideally do not want to happen with Carlito. It's not the end of the world, but it is suboptimal. Anyway, that is the first boss, and we just used the shotgun to take him out. Quick note about the shotgun. Ooh, I got stock. That's actually extremely good. I'll go over that in a moment. So note about the shotgun. Shotguns in this game are incredibly realistic, meaning they will hurt regardless of distance. The only thing, though, is the spray might not make it all the way. That being said, I'm very happy I got stock, because that's one of the best upgrades we could have. Between levels 2 through 5, we're going to get about 4 upgrades. And they're always the same. They're going to be stock, health, jump kick, and zombie ride. The fact that I got stock this early is extremely good, and is one of the better lucking that we can do. Anyway, right now we're going to be able to see Frank West's cool skateboard tech, because again, we're going to be skateboarding pretty much whenever we can. It's the fastest way of getting around the mall, and the fastest way of getting throughout pretty much the entirety of the game, barring a car, which you might get later. And as you can see, we're doing all these cases, and a lot of the cases are just go to said location and complete the mission. And not every case is going to be a boss fight, but we're just playing through the entire game here. Case 1-4, for example, is just going to be go back to the safe house. And that's where we'll be kind of experiencing the first aspect of Timeskip. Going more on to Timeskip, what it exactly does is throughout the game there are different missions. And between 1-4 and 2-1, normally you'd have to wait a very long time. However, since we have Timeskip on, it skips forward the entire nighttime and able to just go straight to 2-1, as we'll see coming up. Also, speaking of sweet skateboarding tech, I'm going to start skateboarding through water because it's faster to go straight forward. And it's going to be kind of funny to see all the things Frank West could skateboard through. There's also a book we can find that can let us actually do like ollies and other tricks, but we don't really, we can't really happen to speedrunning because it would take too long to get. That being said, though, a lot of people end up, at least my nicknames for it, and a few other people's, is this game can also be called Tony Hawk's Undead Wasteland, Frank West's Underground. Pretty much anything with Tony Hawk is very relatable to this. If you want to watch a similar speedrun in terms of, I guess, thematics, Tony Hawk is your best bet. Anyway, if you're wondering what the zombies actually do, they're mainly going to be annoying for paths and doors. They're not going to be too bad in general, but obviously if I hit zombies, they're going to be bad. And they can block me at doors and grab me. Getting grabbed wastes anywhere from 2 to 5 seconds depending on the type of grab. And obviously I do not want to get grabbed because that 1 makes me lose health, and 2 makes you waste time. I only have so much health during the run as well. That being said, speaking of health, I do want to mention as well, I have 2 states of health. I have my actual health in the top right and the top left, and I have my skateboard health in the top right, which is a bit more invisible. However, if it starts flashing, that means the skateboard will be low in health. Anyway, that's 1-4, and we'll be going immediately over to 2-1 after this case, if it works correctly, and there's the time skip. So now we're on 2-1. And 2-2 is my favorite case. We have to save it, and then we can go here. And 2-1 is going, or 2-2 is going to be one of my favorite boss fights in this entire game. If you guys remember Carlito, we're gonna have another run-in with him. I mean, he's a bad man. We're gonna have to be very careful here. But this time he's amped up his game. Last time he was using a tiny little Uzi. This time he is going to be using a bit of a different weapon, which we'll see in a moment. It's going to be much more high caliber and high power, though. I'll tell you guys that much. Also, another upside is I'll be able to get a new board. And now our friend Carlito has a sniper rifle. Now, I don't know about you guys. I'm going to teach you all how to beat someone with a sniper rifle. We're going to use the Canadian military strats to take down this absolute madman. First off, grab a hockey stick. Second off, get rid of your skateboard. Get another skateboard. Now I got 2 full health skateboards. I'm going to hide behind this, and I'm just going to start wailing hockey pucks at Carlito. It's going to be about 3 per time. Sometimes you get a bit more like right now. He decides not to move. But Carlito won't be able to hit me because this is at an L shape. And he's going to keep running into these hockey pucks, this is actually not a bad fight. I have a good cycle, he's not too far away, and he's just eating hockey pucks to the skull. Now, I don't know about you, but, I mean, I've never been hit with a hockey puck to the skull. To my knowledge, I imagine it would hurt a lot. Anyway, that was 2-2 and the Carlito boss fight. It's my favorite part because you don't use the guns we have, you don't use anything else. It is straight up, you hit him with hockey pucks until he dies. That's a bit unfortunate. Let's see if I can make it in. Thank you, that was bad. The zombies get really bad around the elevator. I'm also going to be using this spore now, and part of the reason why I got the better RNG is now I can get a skateboard earlier, and I'll have an extra skateboard as well. So I'll be able to run over here. I can grab this, and now I have 2 books, which will make this last much longer. I haven't really talked much about what the books do yet, but I will explain that right now. So what the books end up doing is they will increase my board's health by ×3. Normally the board will last about anywhere from like 1 to 3 hits. The book will make it last ×3, but it multiplies and multiplies. So instead of being ×3, it's ×9. So 2 times 9 is about 18, which is much more of a skateboard and make it much healthier. If you guys run this game casually, this is one of the hardest boss fights in the game. It's the convicts. I'm just shooting the skull, and we are going to take out the convict right now. Here we go. I'm gonna use this and just light them up. Alright, convicts are dead. Now I can move on. There we go. The convicts are now dead. And you can see the dead man riding on my car. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. He's just chilling. We can ride in the carpool lane now. And the boss fight's a lot easier. Also, we're going to ignore every survivor we see because they take way too long to save. There's other categories you have to interact with the survivors a bit, but it's, I'm telling you right now, not very good that we interact with them. Anyway, I trade my dead man for another gun because it's going to be more valuable, and I have to do something before we go to the boss fight here. We're going to have yet another boss fight, and honestly, it's one of my favorites. I hope I got Zombie Ride. The upgrades, again, are random, so I got Zombie Ride, which is extremely good. This is the exact upgrade I wanted, and let's see if I get another skateboard. I got, like, a weed whacker there. That's fine. What is that? That's, like, a sledgehammer? I think so. Excuse me, zombies. Zombies, please. Thank you. Okay, we made it in. And now you take this car back, and there's a reason why we had to kill the convicts. The convicts actually don't really do anything. You can avoid them entirely. But the convicts have a very powerful weapon that you normally wouldn't be able to use unless you have this car. So, I'm going to drive all the way to the boss fight, and if you guys remember, last time someone used a high-caliber weapon on us, we used a meme weapon to stop them. And this time, someone will be using a meme weapon on us. Oh, excuse me, car. Don't do that. Thank you. Thank you. And I am going to be using a high-caliber weapon on them. Now, I just want to tell you guys, this is probably the hardest boss fight in the entire speedrun. I'm a bit worried here. I don't think we're going to make it, if I'm being quite honest. I've died to some of these before. And we have Steven. Oh my god, Steven is dead immediately. He didn't stand a chance. I'm sorry, Steven. Anyway, Steven is now dead, and I'm going to board over here, take a baguette for good luck, and we'll be moving on. The baguette is just more of a luck-based thing. I personally like grabbing it because it's always fun. But now we have to get our actual mission here, which is medicine, Big Pharma. And we need medicine for Brad story-wise, if you are wondering. There is actual story to this game. There we go. And I'm going to be able to just jump down here. And now we have all the abilities that we normally have. Jump kick, zombie ride, stock, and health. From the rest of the game, we're going to have about maybe 2 or 3 more. And I want to make sure that we can get some good ones here. It's all luck if I can get them or not. Ideally, if I'm lucky, I'll be getting stock. Stock is pretty good, and it's the best upgrade you can possibly get. You can either get level 6 or level 7. Getting an early star, a second stock, is probably the best thing that could happen in a speedrun because you just get more things in general. Anyway, Sophie Richards is dead, and we don't have to care about her again because this is Encycloskip and I don't need any pictures of her. But now we can take the medicine back, and this is why we have to have the car as well. It is much faster to go through here. I'm not hurting my skateboard. And now we can make it back, and we're good to go. Inside. And now we're going to make it back to the safe house, and we'll be going on to the next boss fight in a moment here. Again, most of the run is going to be a boss rush, but the main storylines. There's a lot of boarding in between to get to the missions, and there's a few unique missions that aren't just exclusively bosses, but a lot of the game does consist of different boss fights, and that is really what the run comes into. Also, another thing I want to mention is, as the nights go on, more and more zombies are going to spawn in the mall. So before, this many zombies were not here, but now there's going to be a lot more zombies. So I have to be careful with my board. I just have to watch out in general. There we go. And now that we're back to the safe house, we'll be going on to case 3-1. Case 3-1 is kind of a filler case. They're expecting you to spend more time in the mall. But since I talked to Jesse, I'm going to throw on the red suit. No, I think the gold suit would be better. The gold suit is better for a yellow Surbot helmet. There we go. And that's case 3-1. Truly a difficult case when you really get into the nitty-gritty of it. And now we're on case 4-1. Case 4-2 is going to be one of the most difficult boss fights in the game. And it's just more awkward than anything. If you underestimate her, she can get pretty bad. But I want to keep my board a bit safer here by going this way. There's two ways to get down into the little storehouse area. It's left and right. And this way is a bit better in late game because there's not going to be as many zombies. Again, every time I hit a zombie, it'll damage the board. I've started recently taking this way just because I've rarely hit a bunch of zombies. I may hit one, but I'm not hitting like 5, and that's a very good thing. Also, I'm going to teleport across the entire Paradise Plaza because now there's a cult. And I'm going to ignore Jennifer. Sorry, Jennifer. We have to make up time somewhere here. And we're going to make our way over to North Plaza. A lot of the game is going to be happening in North Plaza, especially the late game. You'll all learn very quick that Isabella is one of the cruelest mistresses in speedrunning and Dead Rising specifically. She's a very difficult boss fight, and she has a 2-part boss fight. The first part happens in 4-1 or 4-2. The next part's going to happen in 8-2. And 8-2 is arguably harder than 4-2. In this area, I kind of have to be mindful of my ammo, but we should be fine in total. Another thing as well, I have to be careful to not break my board, because I'm not going to be able to get a new board until 8-2. So this is why I want to make sure I'm boarding between the zombies, I'm not crashing into them. But luckily for the rest, once we make it down here, we're not going to be using the board until 7-2. So that'll be convenient. Here we go. And now it's time for Isabella. The strategy for Isabella is you want to shoot her about once or twice while she goes behind us, and you want to just jump over her head, because she won't notice it. 1. The thing you have to worry about, though, is zombies. And that was actually a really... Oh, wait a minute. You know, that's actually a really good Isabella fight now I think about it. This is really good. I'll take it. There we go. That worked. I only have 1 bullet left, but recently we started changing the strategy. So I'm going to implement the new strategy, which I believe is faster. And it should be good to me. In the past, we used to be cold-blooded people, but now I'm going to be a nice person and not do the bad thing here. Anyway, we're going to run inside. This is case 5-1. I'm immediately going to shoot Isabella. My gun broke. That's fine. And there we go. That was case 5-1. You just have to meet up with Isabella. The whole reason why the lights turned on, by the way, is because Timeskip is currently in action. And this is going to be mostly an auto-scroller. You just run. This is what I call the calm before the storm, because the rest of the game is going to be rather difficult. There's a lot that comes up. But since I've done this run, there's been a lot of new developments, which is going to be pretty nice. In the past, we used to kill Kendall because he had a shotgun. However, since we now no longer need his shotgun because of new strategies, we don't have to murder him in cold blood anymore. You guys are witnessing the first time I've ever done a Dead Rising marathon where I did not brutally murder Kendall. Kendall will survive, at least for a little bit. I mean, he has a shotgun. How bad can he be, right? This section of the game is mostly pretty chill. We carry Isabella on our back, which I really wish you could do for the entirety of the game. Like, at all points, I would absolutely love to carry Isabella on my back. It's so much better when having to deal with Isabella. The problem is, the AI in this game are absolutely terrible. Isabella is no exception. In fact, she's arguably worse than all the other AI in this game. And that gets kind of sad when you really get into it. It's kind of weird when you really, like, think about it. Anyway, for this section, the only difficulty comes that if you get too into the zombies, they may knock Isabella off you, and then it's a bit of a struggle to get her back on. But it wastes a bit of time if that happens. Anyway, we're almost back, and we will be on to case 6-1 and 7-1 once we get back to the safe house. We are a little bit over halfway through the run, if anyone is wondering. It's pretty good. And this part is, again, one of my favorites. Also, we just get to carry the thick Isabella. I can respect thick Latinas. I have a major respect for thick Latinas. And like thick Latinas in life, she'll be dominating a lot of my decision-making in this speedrun. There we go. And then we can make our way all the way back here. Okay, time to make our way to case 7. Case 7 is going to be one of the more difficult cases in the game. It's also one of the least favorite for a lot of people who do the category Timeskip, just because case 7-2 has a bit of a different mechanic that you wouldn't expect. We've interacted with it a bit, but not too much when you really think about it. Anyway, the mechanic in question is going to be more car driving. I'm also going to go over here. and I'm gonna just skateboard safely. You can take the elevator, but personally, I don't like getting grabbed in the elevator. I don't like hitting all the zombies with my skateboard, and I'd rather have a full health skateboard than a slightly faster routing. It's much safer this way for everything involved, because none of these guys will be hitting my board. Anyway, one of the reasons why we had to go into the maintenance tunnels earlier is we needed to get a key. If you remember correctly, during the Steven boss fight, that was the grocery store man, I had to get a key in the garage. The reason why is I need to make my way back here, so now I can immediately go down, and we're going to be entering, technically, another boss fight. You can kill the boss, but it's much faster just to do the mission. It is slightly easier if you don't have to do the mission. Also, for you guys, you can watch Frank West deep throat a baguette. Truly, it is what dreams are made of, to watch a 30-year-old man shove a baguette down his throat with a Lego helmet on. It is truly what I've always lived for, to watch on a Friday night. At least that's my Friday night in a nutshell. Every Friday. That's what I just dream of. Anyway, I have to collect the 5 bombs in this case. I have to be a bit careful as well, because there's going to be a lot of things that are going to want to destroy my car. Also, I just forget to grab the bombs, in theory. I've done it before. We can also see the Servbot helmet clip through the car head, so that's kind of funny. But there's going to be a lot of things that can kill my car right now. Carlito can kill it. You can see him right here. I can bang into walls. I can hit zombies. I can run over dividers. And the worst thing I can do is run over a shopping cart. Running over a shopping cart is actually a run killer, because shopping carts do tons of damage to your car. Which apparently I've already done a lot of damage to my car, which is not very good. I'm not sure how I did so much damage, but apparently I did. Let's see. I ran over a lot of zombies. There we go. And now we're back. And I want to make sure that my car is not going to totally break down. The worst thing Carlito can do to you is if you take too long by any of the bombs, he'll start chucking grenades at you, which is pretty unfortunate. The damage states of the car are going to be broken glass in the front, broken glass in the back, 2 smokes out of the side, and then later on we'll see a smoke on the top. If it's smoke on the top, I may be nearing the life of the car. That was pretty bad. I got hit by a grenade. That's really bad, in fact. So I should be able to take this car to the end, but I'm going to get the safety car just to make sure. You can also skateboard, which again, I have full health skateboard, which would be convenient. Also, I got life, which is probably one of the worst upgrades I could have had. So I am not happy about that. And this is also where zombie RNG can really come into play. If zombie RNG is bad, you may not even be able to get to your car. Or you may not be able to get to the bombs. Anyway, this will be a good sign if I can make it to the top of the hill over here. So far, this car wasn't the worst car I've ever had, but it is somewhat unfortunate. Let's see. Did I make it to the top? Alright, I barely made it. That's fine. Take over the zombies, grab this. And then I can just skateboard over here. And this is going to be the backup car I talked about. When you hear that big explosion, the engine's no longer working and the car will no longer run. You get forced out of it. You get ejected. However, now that I grabbed all the bombs, this mission's pretty much done, and it is one of the run killers in general. You can do a lot wrong here. If your skateboard breaks, the run usually dies. If you die, the run dies. There's a lot that can kill the run. There we go. And now, we are on case 8. These are the final 4 cases, I would say. There's going to be 2 traveling cases and 2 boss fights. After this, it's mainly just auto-scrollers all the way. So let's see. Almost done here. And we are hitting 8-2, which again, I mentioned is one of the worst cases in the game. However, you guys will be able to see one of the first incarnations of the newest 8-2 tricks. 8-2 used to be a really bad case because it was heavily RNG dependent. Lately, we've discovered some new routing, which is going to prevent massive amounts of RNG from absolutely messing up our run, which is extremely good when you get into it. Like I mentioned, we have another boss fight with Isabella, and it has a lot of RNG. So let's get ready for that Isabella boss fight, shall we? I swear, this thick Latina is going to bend me over and just take me to RNG hell. I'm not ready for it, but we'll see. Back to the security room, and we are going to be going on 8-2. Now, a lot can go wrong in 8-2, so I'm actually going to save the game right here. This will be the one safety save I do. I do have backups, but I want to make sure I have it here because I don't trust this case. I really don't. There's a lot that can go wrong. And here's the boss fight. It's Isabella, and it's an escort mission. I have to escort Isabella all the way to her hideout. Now, I'm going to be careful with Isabella for a few reasons. I want to make sure she's close enough to go into the doors here. I want to make sure she isn't going to be absolutely bloodlusted. Isabella is the most angry AI I've ever seen. Like, realistically, Dead Rising did an amazing job programming Isabella. She is a fiery Latina who does not take, I guess, orders from anybody and paves her own path. She decides what's going to happen here, which is a very good thing. Anyway, though, we're going to be doing Isabella manipulation. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go upstairs now. I'm going to chill all the way in the back. I'm going to want to grab 3 skateboards. 3 skateboards, by the way. Because I have the time to do it. So 1, 2... I'll just take 2, actually. Alright, there's 2 skateboards. And I want to chill in the back. Right now you can see Isabella getting bopped. Now that I'm over here, Isabella is just going to be running in that little cursor on the bottom. I want to wait till she's about a little over halfway, and then I can start making my way towards her. I have to be careful as well, because if she doesn't do it, that's going to be bad. Anyway, I think we should be fine, so let's go towards Isabella now, and we should be good to go. This is the first Paradise Plaza manipulations. Paradise Plaza is a bit interesting because you have to wait and it's a lot of going blind. That wasn't too bad, but now you can see Isabella, the moment I got close, is getting incredibly violent with the police, actually. That's a bit unfortunate, Isabella. Please don't hurt the police. They're our friends. Alright, now she's stopped. She's not shooting them anymore. And we'll go on to phase 2 of Isabella manipulation. Going all the way to the other side of the park will prevent zombies from spawning. The entire thing here is if I'm far enough away from Isabella, no zombies will interact with her. And since that is happening, that's going to allow us to just have Isabella run immediately towards the exit. Now, it doesn't matter how fast I make it towards the other side, Isabella has to make it to the other side. And I can't carry her, all I can do is hope to God she runs. However, if she doesn't run, that's somehow even worse. So it's a good balance between skating around the park and making sure she keeps running, but I want to make sure I can make it to the end in time, because I can, in theory, waste time if I don't make it all the way to the end, which is a bit unfortunate. This should be good if I'm a bit behind, even. Isabella seems to be going, she's cooperating, which is very good. The Isabella manipulation is in the works. The hardest Isabella manipulation is going to be Isabella 3, also known as North Plaza. Isabella is incredibly generous on this area, but the next one's not going to be as generous, I would say. There we go. And now I want to skateboard all the way to the back to the gun shop. The problem here, though, is Isabella is still going to be a bit violent when she gets close. So I want to make sure that too many zombies aren't going to spawn in. That's just pretty bad. She might pick a fight with these zombies. But she's not going to pick a fight up until she gets around that corner. I'm also just going to close the door here because I don't want the zombies getting in. Be gone. Thank you. And I'm going to kick this for a bottle of wine. This is going to be me later tonight, by the way. Just downing an entire bottle of wine. And now I pick up 2 shotguns for safety purposes. And we are going to hope to God Isabel succeeds. She's now getting into a fight. So let's see how she does. She is decently far. Alright, she's coming down the bend. She's really close. Come on, Isabel. Stop picking fights with the zombies, please. Alright, come on, Isabel. You're almost there. You're almost there. Isabella, we have hope for once. Stop fighting them. They're our friends, not food. Realistically, Isabella will fight anything she sees fit. She is a fighter. She is scrappy. She is a scrapper. Anyway, that was Isabella, and that actually went really well. For like a marathon Isabella, that was ridiculously good. You guys just saw the perfect Latina woman. This is perfection in a Latina woman. And I'm going to do a little fun thing for you guys here. To celebrate, dramatic. Absolutely dramatic. She is so thick, it is dramatic. It's drama. Absolutely dramatic. Now, if you thought Isabella was thick, there's going to be something even thicker than Isabella coming up. That's it going, and I want to just jump through here because I don't want my board dying. There's a high possibility my board may potentially die, which I do not want that. That would be rather unfortunate if my board died. I don't have to worry too much on health, although there is going to be a tough boss fight coming up. I can get a good amount of health right before the boss fight. Also, since this is no glitches allowed, I will say there is one glitch that we can do, but since this is a no glitches expo, we will not be doing it. Let's keep going. And 8-3 is one of the final go back to the safe house cases that we're going to have. There'll be one more around the end of the game, but this is one of the last ones. There we go. Also, a lot of my skateboard routing is just to make sure I don't hit zombies. It's probably the most important part. Luckily, we haven't really seen a skateboard break on us yet, but it does happen a lot more often than you think. The zombie AI has been incredibly generous to me, which isn't a frequent thing. I'll say that right now. It's not very frequent that zombies are generous to me. It's very infrequent, in fact. Also, Isabella's pretty generous. I kind of wish I had this timed on my end, because Dead Rising runs normally run on a in-game timer. Okay, luckily I have the safe route. Here we go. Anyway, the glitch coming up is mainly going to be something that allows us to fire the shotguns very quickly. However, that is a glitch because it prevents the actual pumping of a shotgun. So for the next fight, I'm only able to allowed to shoot Larry with shotguns. I can't do rapid-fire shotguns, which, I mean, I think it's a fun glitch, but at the same time, this is no glitches allowed. And for safety purposes, I will be over here. I'll eat frozen vegetables, the entire bag. Just eat the entire bag. I don't know about you guys, but every time I've ever woken up at like 3 a.m., I go down to my freezer, and I just shove an entire bag of frozen vegetables in my mouth. Like, is this not how we all eat? I think it's the way I eat. I think it's the way all of us... Oh, I bonked my head. That's fine. Oh, I would... Oh, that's unfortunate. Not the end of the world. I fell down the original path anyway. Slightly unfortunate, but we are gearing towards the last boss. And if you thought the last, like, that Isabella was a thick boss, this next boss is going to be even thicker. And honestly, it's one of my favorite psychopaths in the entire game. Most of the bosses in this game, Dead Rising, are defined as psychopaths, which I didn't really talk about too much earlier because bosses and psychopath get across the same actual, like, answer. There we go. And also, just to make sure I can save here, I'm going to be picking up raw meat off the ground, shoving it down my throat, and continuing on. It heals me for a decent chunk, so that's pretty good. And we're going to be able to take the car all the way over to Larry. Now, Larry is arguably one of the hardest boss fights in the game. He's also one of the more interesting boss fights as well. I'll show you guys a little bit of an interesting thing with Larry, since we're actually pretty far ahead on time, so it's been really good. And the fight in general, like, you have to give Larry credit. Like, all the psychopaths in this game have amazing cutscenes that go with them. And I know for a speedrun we're skipping these cutscenes, but thematically there's one thing Larry has that we don't really get to see too well. So I'll show you that right now. We'll go in here. And Larry is the big Chinese butcher. Now the fun part though, is Larry will only... He won't attack you unless you attack him. Like, hi Larry. Larry will actually refuse to attack you unless you attack him. Anyway, the strategy I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide behind the meat. I'm going to fire at Larry until he dies. Now, my bullets can go through meat, but Larry can't go through meat. So this will be convenient. Now, I'll just keep pumping ammo at him, and this should be good. Now, Larry does a ton of damage, though. Larry does a ton of damage. It's pretty unfortunate if he hits me with the big meat. Like, big meat is going to hurt. Also, I want to be careful to keep my distance, because all the meat's interactable. Like the bullets are doing less damage by going through the meat, but it's much safer than just hitting Larry dead on. Almost. Oh, that was a risky knife. Almost got him. And that's Larry. We just shot about, what, 26 shotgun shells into a Chinese man? Like, Larry is absolutely thick. So thick, his body is immune to shotgun bullets. And I got stock right at the end, adding insult to injury. Anyway, we are almost done with the speedrun, if you guys are wondering. We're very close to being done. All I have to do is make it back to the safe house, and we should be good to go. And the safe house is going to be one of the finales. There's two safe houses. There's the hidden safe house with Isabella, and there's the other one as well. Oh, I want to be a bit careful with my boarding. I do not want to hit anything. But... Oh, no. Not the walk back. That's bad. That's really bad. Oh, well. Well, there's going to be one part that messed up. There's always one little thing that'll mess up here. I broke my board. Unlucky. Okay, on the upside, I'll be able to take the skateboard back, but Sadly, I broke my board, so I'll be having to hop back to the safe house. That's probably about an extra minute and a half over to what we normally have. Roughly about, but the run in general has been very, very solid so far. Up we go. And now we're going to be watching, skipping a lot of cutscenes. Normally, you'd have to wait for the time to go down. However, with time skip, it's going to be a flurry of cutscenes coming up. And this is the final case, the facts, but the game is not done yet. We still have to escape. Sadly, the board died. RIP board, push F for respects. I am sorry I let you down. The poor skateboard. I let the spirit of Tony Hawk down. I'm like one of those people at the airport who talks about Tony Hawk, but forget Tony Hawk exists. You have to feel bad for the man. I'm sorry, Tony Hawk. If Tony Hawk is watching this, I apologize. I absolutely apologize, Tony Hawk. You don't deserve this. I'm sorry, Tony. You don't deserve this cold, non-skateboarding walk of shame. Anyway, we do get a hop back, though, so that's a fun part. And this has been Dead Rising, though. This is the final case of the game, and it gets kind of eerie given the fact that all the zombies now are dead. Or I guess double dead, I should be saying. The zombies are already dead. They can't, I mean, I guess they're ×2 dead. But at this point, the military has taken out almost all the zombies. So I want to make sure I could... Wow, what the hell happened to that shop? I've actually never noticed that. Oof. Well, keep running. We could get a car, but it would waste more time going over there than just hopping, because we lose the car right over here. But now I have to hop back. On the upside, I can pick up the nice can of Squirt, and we can continue on. There's a bunch of Squirt just hanging out in the park. I don't know about you guys, but I love Squirt as soda. It's a good soda. It really is. Like, I don't know if it's just me. I like grapefruit, I suppose, but... There we go. We get the can of Squirt. It'll be nice. And we have to keep hopping. We have a few areas left. I could get another skateboard. We're going to do the Walk of Shame. Anyway, though, I do hope you guys have enjoyed Dead Rising Time Skip. There's a lot of fun categories for this game that will allow us to just fully enjoy Dead Rising without the waiting in between. And there's been some amazing work done by a lot of the runners. All the guys, the mods, Suzuka developed the time skip here, and you may have seen him typing in chat. He's been enjoying that because he made this mod. And I've been playing time skip for a while now. I'm very happy. And I'm happy to be able to show this off each time. I think this went a lot better than my shots fired run. Some of you mentioned earlier. My shots fired run did die, but I felt good about this run. This run felt very good. Maybe it's the gold suit and the Servbot helmet. Whoever donated for the Servbot helmet, I hope you're happy. You know what, I'll give you a quick glimpse. There you go. And you'll be able to watch the final cutscene with the Servbot helmet. That'll be a treat to all of us. The run is almost done. I will be calling time in a moment here. Time will end when we enter this vent coming up. Anyway, let's go. And... time. And that, guys, is Dead Rising Time Skip New Game. I like New Game because you actually get to witness all the boss fights, like Big Larry. And it's just much harder than New Game Plus. If you guys did enjoy it, definitely go check out all my stuff. Check out all the other Dead Rising guys. I do exclusively horror games, so if you like spooky stuff, I guess stay tuned, really. I mean, I hear the next runner also does some spooky stuff. We'll see. I got 37:41. That's really good. For a marathon, that's probably the best marathon time I've ever had. I'm going to say that right now. Like, my dream hack time, I went overestimate. My shots fired time, I went really overestimate.
He's still alive.
And I made it.
That son of a bitch.
Made it. That must mean he got his scoop.
I can't wait to get my share of the tape.
Also, we have the best character in the game, and before I throw it to the next run, I do want to show this off since we were a bit ahead here. And if you guys earned the ending here, because there's a two-part ending. We're gonna see part 1. And look at he's flying in the helicopter. It's nice. It's nice stuff.
I'm on my way.
And let me check something really quick. Okay, good news for me. The next run has 0 incentives. I know, that being said, though, if you guys also like Time Skip, there has been a new category recently, which is called Psycho Skip. And this has all the boss fights that we don't see. We get Adam the Clown, we get Cletus, we get Cliff, we get Joe. We got a lot of the cool boss fights that we just missed during this category, because this is only the main story. So, that being said, there's a lot of cool Dead Rising things that are always coming in, so it's been a blooming game, I'll say that much. And honestly, I'm surprised there aren't more runners in the game. But now we have our fun Servbot helmet. Whoever donated for the Servbot helmet, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the full run of the Servbot helmet. Normally I put it on later, but this is right at the beginning. That was pretty good. Even with the Servbot helmet, like in-game time probably would have been like a 32. Like a 32 or a 30, like a mid-32, I'd say. Which for a marathon time, that is absolutely amazing. That being said, we will be having our next run in a moment. I'm not sure who's doing that, but we'll figure that out. I hope you guys enjoyed Dead Rising, and I guess see you soon.